It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Welcome everyone to the Sam Lesante Show, the Mayor's Report. I'm here at the Mayor's office in Pottsville. Mayor Dave Clews gives us an update of what's going on in the city, what we expect to look for, and also today we have Tom Palamar as our guest. Coming up the street today, I'm looking at all the businesses, all right? Some of them, some stores are, not too many, are empty, okay? And does the city have, and maybe Tom or you could answer this question, do you have an incentive to bring business into town? Because you brought some businesses into town, which we've had on the show.
We always kind of try and find ways for incentivizing people coming to town, whether it's in some of our blighted neighborhoods or downtown with our retail space and professional space, to attract the businesses. That's why we've been so successful lately, between our redevelopment authority, PADCO, the business association. Everybody in house here knows that when we can put people in business and get properties taken care of, it's good for the entire city. It goes to the tax base and lets us get more things done. So we always are trying to find ways to attract those businesses.
Does it determine on what type of business is coming, that's interested in coming in town, and then what direction would they go into? Because you have startup costs, you may have remodeling to be done, or especially doing a nice front of the store, etc.
Yeah, we're not necessarily particular on the type of businesses that come in. We like businesses that come in that have a well thought out plan. We're getting businesses from other towns that are already established and successful businesses wanting to come to Pottsville now because they're seeing all our ribbon cuttings and the success that's going on. We have PADCO to help out with grant money, low interest financing, facade grants and loans to spiff up the front of buildings. We here in the city, Tom's great at reaching into his bag of tricks on, how can we help this person get established here? How can we help them open a business and do it properly so they have long-term success?
I'm going to ask Tom that question because it always interests me as a former retailer myself. I know, well, of course, we were in malls because that was the franchises we had. But in some areas, there's certain cities like Pottsville is growing. In the last 2 years, the last year or two, how many new businesses have you attracted?
Well, I know in the last 3, we were just looking at these numbers. In the last 3, 15 new businesses have opened in downtown Pottsville. Wow. Yeah. I think we've had 5 or 6 just this year alone. So things are progressing very well here, and it's a real positive vibe happening.
And we talked about that in the last show about keeping a positive attitude to what's happening. In terms of, now you had a great St. Patty's Day weekend coming up now in March, the rest of March and maybe beginning of April, and some of the things we have to look forward in the city.
Well, of course, the Majestic Theater always has something going on there, so we have a nice entertainment nightlife with them in the town. Of course, coming up through spring and summer, we have the Pottsville Cruise. We have our own fireworks, to do on July 9th, I believe is the date for that. So that's exciting. Coming up in May, we have the Memorial Day Mile, and our fitness challenge happens, along with a very nice hometown Memorial Day in Garfield Square.
I was looking at, in fact, it's on our website, my friends. You could look at the cruise if you go to YouTube, Sam Lesante Show / Pottsville Cruise. And we had a lot of fun. Jerry would drive with the convertible, and we would tape, record as we're going along the cruise. What happened? I know you addressed this before. I really would like to see that cruise come back.
You and a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. Was it logistics, or what was the problem?
Well, logistics are a big part of it because we used PA 209, which is our West Market, or Market Street here in town, which is a logistical nightmare with PennDOT to get that approved. And part of that is every cross street has to have either a fire, police, or policeman at it. Just like anything else, volunteer fire policemen are becoming slimmer in numbers. And then there's the sheer cost of having to call in extra police to monitor the more busy intersections throughout the city. And then there's always comes under the, except for a few, it would be a no-hitch event, but you always get somebody that's got to spin the tires excessively. We've been fortunate that nobody's ever been hurt. We've had some cars run into during it where, Junior, who never spun tires before, does now, and the car in front of him stopped. And we've been fortunate there. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 accidents that way. One rather serious several years ago where a big 4-wheel drive truck climbed up on the back of a 56 Corvette. Not a pretty sight,
No, that's not good.
especially being a car guy.
Yeah.
So that kind of ended the ability to cruise the streets of Pottsville. We've looked at other things. I know the guys I've been working with at the Humane. We talked about trying to pull something off just on Laurel Boulevard, and it really was trying to put a patch on something that just isn't realistic to do today. And having it on Laurel Boulevard gives the guys a chance with their cars. It's got more space for all the spectators to walk around. The car guys feel better. Everybody can open their doors up. And everybody likes a car show. It's not the cruise, and I don't think we'll ever see that again. But that event has been growing very well. The guys at the Humane, because they inherited it from the Pottsville Lions Club, who trademarked the Great Pottsville Cruise, they kept running it, and the guys said this year, let's correct it and make it the Great Pottsville Car Show.
I remember, covering it many times with Jerry Enders, and what I would tell the viewers, there was a lot of money that was distributed, that helped a lot of people and organizations in Pottsville. Isn't that correct?
Oh, absolutely. We used to do about 12 to 13 different nonprofits every year with the money we raised from that. Yeah. And in fact, I just got word the other day that some of the still existing cruise money that the Lions Club has neatly stashed away, they're going to use for our holiday lighting campaign.
Oh,
so
great.
They're going to be presenting us with a check from that. So they that was a great fundraising event. And just like the Humane has found, to help their fire department, it is a great event.
Yeah, I know a lot of effort was put into it. I mean, Jerry and his crew, they really worked hard. And I think when I
ran it for 2 years.
2 years, yeah. And that's a lot of work.
Oh, it's a ton of work. And it's like anything else. When you have a great bunch of volunteers to help you out, and you can delegate some things and know they're getting done, it comes off without a hitch. So the Humane guys are the same. They dug right in, and they're doing a great job.
Your show last year was great.
Oh yeah, since they took over, every year they've got some more cars coming. They've tweaked it. The little things they've found. In the 2 years they're running it. And they're just doing a great job.
We'll talk a lot more about that in the following months. My friends, it's the Mayor's Report. We're here at Pottsville learning about what's happening. This is a great city, a great area, as well as all of northeastern Pennsylvania. Coming up next is Tom Palamar, no stranger to our channel. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, the Mayor's Report. I'm here in Pottsville in Mayor Dave Clews' office, and every month we give you an update of what's happening, not only in Pottsville, how it affects the entire area. Once again, I want to thank our media sponsors here, Republican Herald. Remember, if you're not subscribing, I highly recommend you subscribe. And of course, we've been media partners with the Standard Speaker for many, many years. I want to thank Explorer Schuylkill, my friends. They have been a strong supporter of local television program, particularly this show, and I want to thank them. For those people who are not involved in, in community activities or with the City Hall, what does a city administrator do?
I basically work directly with the mayor and our elected officials, and then specifically with each of the department heads to make sure that the day-to-day things run as smoothly as possible.
So you So that's nothing then, right? You really don't do anything.
No, yeah, it's could be a little overwhelming if you think about it, but we have a great, as Dave mentioned, we have a great team here, and we had a staff meeting this morning. Dave attended. We sit there all together. We talk about a lot of different things, and we sort of set the tone. We do that twice a month, and we make sure that we're all on the same page and rowing in the right direction, both with our city elected officials, our personnel here, and other folks in the community.
So you've been here a while.
Yes.
Because I remember, my good friend John Riley, who was very good to me. He was, I like John very much. He's sort of a guy like Dave. I mean, he just said it the way it was. He was playing games, and he was always concerned about the people in Pottsville, at least in my perspective. Looking at some of the things throughout the years, okay, as a city administrator, tell me some of the things that you've seen where you sit, the progress throughout the years. How long have you been in this?
I'm actually here 21 years, which is hard to come out of my mouth sometimes.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's unusual.
Yes,
okay,
it is.
Because being in that position. But some of the things that you've seen and what makes the city growing the way it is and really starting to look in a great positive area.
I really, so much of it comes down to good leadership and people who decide to become involved in city government for the right reasons, and because they care about the community that they live in, and they want everyone who lives here to experience a better quality of life. I think that's really where it all starts. The other things, the projects happen organically and naturally once everybody is on the same page, and I think we've been blessed with good leaders here who have always wanted to give us the direction to head the right way and the right path for the citizens.
And you said something, for the right reasons, my friend. You get on a board for the right reasons.
Right.
A couple things some of the things that are very concerning for a city is revenue, okay? And that's where, Dave and everyone's trying to see where do we get additional revenue without taxing the citizens, okay? And I think new business brings some revenue in, okay? Alluded a little bit with Dave before. What are some of the incentives? Oh, first of all, how does one go about finding out what they could do if they want to bring a business into Pottsville? Do they call your office? What do they do?
They could go one of two places. They could go to the PADCO website, the Pottsville Area Development Corporation, and Google downtown Pottsville, and that'll take them to some great links and a great website. They could also call us here. If they called us here, we have some brochures available, how to start a business in Pottsville. They'll talk to our code office. They'll talk to the folks who can help them. In some instances, they'll talk to me, and then I'll, hook them up personally to folks at PADCO. But, we are all on the same page. So if someone's interested in a business location or to start a new business, they're novices, we can hook them up to the right people. I think the folks at PADCO over the years have developed the expertise of mentoring businesses, and then they had a very, very successful Launch Pottsville business competition. So the template is in place to help new businesses if they come into the city. So it's just our responsibility to get those folks talking to the right people, and then we can get them started and head them in the right direction.
I know. When I had my retail stores, we looked at, and they were always concerned with how many employees will you bring into town, and what kind of business you're bringing in. What other areas of generating revenue are available in the city that where there could be revenue coming in?
Our primary source of revenue is our tax base. So we need to work very diligently, both in residential neighborhoods and downtown, in protecting that tax base. So anything we can do to help people improve the buildings that they're in, that's where really that drives all of the money for all governments, really, is their tax base. So for us, it's a combination of being conservative with our budgeting and our spending, and then capitalizing on that tax base. So anything we can do to help people improve buildings, get into buildings, take buildings from negligent owners and get them to renovate the buildings and start paying their taxes and keep paying their taxes and increasing those values is really important. And that's really the key, is in protecting your tax base, growing your tax base and encouraging people to move here, do business here. I think that's really the keys for all government, not just the city.
How about attracting outside revenues, like venues that come in, either concerts or something that bring additional, not only additional money, but bring people to the area that will, spend in around the city.
Absolutely, and when we have events like the Yingling Summer Celebrations that are held every few years, that brings tens of thousands of people here. But we have a theater. We now have an event space in our downtown. We have an amphitheater in the town. So when you're downtown and you attend one of those events and you happen to be at the Park Tavern having a cocktail, or down at Pilgaroo or one of the other bars, you can see how when those things let out, how people, everything gets crowded, and reservations are harder to get, and you can see the economy being fed by those activities. So it's a very good point.
And we were blessed this year with a mild winter. So all the restaurants were able to, maintain, the revenue, and at least to be able to pay that. So now we got about a minute left. In the springtime, summertime, coming summertime, you have a lot of activities at the pool, right? Dave talked about them, but that pool is something else.
It's probably one of the largest pools in northeastern PA, 660,000 gallons. We hire over 50 kids to work there. Sometimes it's their first job. It teaches them how to work. So we will be looking for all of our to restaff our pool very soon. The ads will be in the paper. So anybody who wants to be a lifeguard, a concession stand worker, a maintenance worker, help us cut weeds in the city, keep an eye out for that. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. And I do want to do a show up there. We remember one time
Bring
you
your
had
swimsuit.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah. Could you imagine Clews with a swimsuit?
The pool is open for everybody of all shapes and sizes.
Wait, did you hear about the big revenue thing we're having?
No, I didn't hear. Please share.
It's a big. Dave has decided to have a major fundraiser to help all of the citizens in Pottsville. Okay.
That doesn't surprise me. Dave's a big fundraiser.
And we're going to cut his hair. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be a big event. I'm going to come down with the cameras and everything. We're going to cut his hair, and we're going to hope to raise about $50,000 to $60,000. Going to go right back into the city. I think that's
for 50
great.
or 60,000, he'd probably do it.
Okay, my friends. I love picking on my buddy Dave. Okay. This is the Mayor's Report. Tom Nice, always nice to you. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with our mayor. Welcome back to the Mayor's Report, Sam Lesante Show. Once again, I want to thank all of you, my friends, who participated in our scientific poll that was done by Susquehanna Polling and Research. They were rated the #1 polling company in the United States. And they did our scientific poll, and they made this show, the Sam Lesante Show, the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. 56,000 people a week watching our show. I really appreciate that. For all of our shows came #1 in their time slots, and we appreciate it. When you look at being a mayor of the city, and you had, when you ran, you had different thoughts, and it was a nice election. It was no mudslinging. It was the way it should be. Working with people always seems to be the key. Okay, so how do you handle those bumps in the road?
Well, it's like anything else. It's a negotiation process, and when everybody has the same ultimate goal, and it doesn't matter whether there's a D or R behind their name, and things progress forward, and that's what we're seeing right now here in Pottsville. We're all working together as a team. We've had our little bumps in the road, and we've moved on down the road, and it's a positive vibe. Everybody sees it. Everybody likes what's happening. So to get into a political thing back and forth right now makes no sense, because we all look great right now because we're all working towards the same goal. We're using the same business common sense, and there's a great staff in this building. I'd walk through fire for these people. Because I get to walk down the street and hear you're doing a great job. Well, the fact is, Dave's being Dave, and here in this building are a great team that are making things happen on a whole new level with a whole new energy. And I'm just glad to be riding the wave up front, saying let's do this.
And it's so true that when you deal with agendas. In the years that I've been interviewing so many people, particularly politicians, I have to say 80% of them, when they come on the show, that they're presenting this or presenting that. Then when they get in office, some of them forget. I'm a little frustrated with some of the current legislators we have, state legislators here, because when they came on my show, they were excited about what they're doing, and then when you try to get them to come back on the show, you never hear from them. And it's not because they're coming on my show, Dave, but it's just like, you have a business. You came here to do this show to inform the public. I'm a little disappointed in some of the current state legislators because they have not responded to coming on and talking about what they see in the state of Pennsylvania. And that upsets me because we try to bring information to people that do not have the opportunity of coming here and sitting and talking to Tom Palamar or Dave Clews or finding out what's happening in this great town. And for that, I thank you for doing these shows. What I find is when some of these people who tell you all this bull before they get elected, then they're only worried about their own agendas, and it sucks a lot of energy, I think, from what's happening. Okay, that frustrates me.
It's extremely frustrating. Tom has witnessed me, slam a door, leave a room, and he knows it's usually because it's not that we don't have the same goals all the time. It's when that other political factor enters into making a decision. When I ran for mayor, I'm born and raised here and I'm a businessman. And there's times where I have to sit back and the decisions that I make after, this is what you said you were going to do it.
That's right.
And I've believed that I've wholly tried to do that the time I've sat here as mayor. And even while I was on council, that was how I wanted to run things and how always was my position. Yeah. And when the other stuff enters into it is when I get extremely frustrated. That's one, and followed by closely thereafter is when somebody picks on somebody in my team here in City Hall. I know what they're here doing every day. You've had one touch with them, maybe caught them on a bad day.
Yes.
Maybe didn't get the answer you wanted.
Yeah.
But they're all working for the same cause. Yes. So those are times, and I can understand what you're saying that way.
Yeah. And when we had all our news people, people would come in, and it's not that you agreed to disagree. And it was a goal that we wanted to achieve, but it was always constructive, okay? It wasn't negative, and I think the fact that I've been honored by the viewers in making this show, the Sam Lesante Show, #1 talk show, is not because of me, but because the people who are coming on this show, Dave, and presenting information that's helpful to them. So we have a lot of things to talk about coming up in the next few months. And now I know you have to get to your nap, so I want to wrap this show up, my friends. We'll see you next time.